Alright, welcome back. I'm here with Demon Hunter, Druid, and Hunter. So I'm going to get right into it. For each of the classes, there's not really that much, they don't really have that much going for them. If they have something going for them, I'll highlight it. But Demon Hunter really just doesn't have that much going for them. So, we were here. Alright, going over cards here. Abyssal Depths. Draw your 2 lowest cost minions. 4 mana, draw 2. That's mediocre. 2-star card. Don't need to say much. Glaive Shark. 4 mana, 4/3, Battlecry. If your hero attack this turn, deal 2 damage to all enemies. So basically, 5 mana for a swipe, for a super-powered swipe. And it summons a 4/3. 5 mana for a super-powered swipe, and it summons a 4/3. I'm going back and forth on this card. Is it a 5-star card? Is it a 6-star card? I don't know with the current state of Arena if this is really enough to break the 6-star card. This is one of those cards that's right on the bubble. I'm saying it's like a very, very, very high 5-star card that's like borderline 6-star card. But, okay, it's like one of the cards you always take. If you compare it. Would you take this over Twin Tyrant? Or would you... I'm surprised Knight Captain is rated so highly, rated over Twin Tyrant here. So would you take this over Twin Tyrant? Would you take this over Knight Captain? Would you take this over Illidari Inquisitor, the 8 mana 8/8 rush? Would you take it over those cards? Would you take it over Flanking Maneuver? It's probably take it over Flanking Maneuver. So it's really, really, really borderline where you would take this. So as I said, it's between 5 and 6 stars. I have it as 5 currently. Maybe I'll wake up tomorrow and it'll be 6. Bone Glaive. 5 mana, 5/2. That's an Arcanite Reaper. So Arcanite Reaper, you can't really do that much anymore. Health has gone up. It has Dredge though, and Demon Hunter can buff it up to 6 attack. So pretty much fine card. You can use this. You can go face. You can deal 12 damage over 2 turns. That's fine. That's a 3-star card. It's a good card. I don't think it's better than a Marrow Slicer or anything like that. Multi-Strike. Multi-Strike is basically a 1 mana cleave. But your hero has to take the damage for it. So it has its upsides, it has its downsides. I'd say 3-star card. And then obviously, if you can buff your hero's attack up, you can play this 2 mana. You can play this on turn 2 with your hero power, and you can deal 3 to 2 things. Or you can deal 3 to face and 3 to a minion. So again, that's fine. That's like a 3-star card. As Sharon Defector. Get back up here. Where are you? 4 mana 5/3 rush. The Sunken Defector is a 4 mana 5/3 charge that deals 5 damage to a random enemy minion. So this is really powerful because of the because it can be a repeated effect, and because you could use this as 4 damage to just clear something for clear 2 things or clear 1 giant thing. So overall, the problem is being able to dredge out this. So ultimately, I think it's just a 2-star card because a 4 mana 5/3 rush really isn't that great. Predation. Get over here. Again, I don't deals 3 damage, cause 0 if you're played a Naga while holding this. I don't think you're gonna have the Nagas. It's gonna be 3 mana, deal 3 damage. That's a 2-star card. Coil Scar Commander. Taunt Battlecry. If you cast 3 spells while holding this, summon 2 copies of this. So if you cast 3 spells, you get 3 2/6 taunts, which is okay. I don't. It's not even that good. Even if you get the effect off, it's not even that good. I mean, it's a lot of stats, but the stats don't really do that much. So it's you need to cast 3 spells while holding this to get a worse version of the Paladin card that does this for 7 mana without casting 3 spells. So yeah, ultimately I think it's a 1-star card. I think you're not going to get this off, so it's just going to be garbage. Wayward Sage. Reduce the cost of the left and most right cards in your hand by 1. So why is this only 2 stars? Well, the reason is because you can't play this on turn 2. So it's 2-drop, you can't really play on turn 2 because it's understated and because you're not going to get the outcast effect off on turn 2, which anyone who's played Demon Hunter in Arena knows that that's what happens. So you're not going to play this until the mid to late game where you might be able to get this off. And when you do get this off, just like a 0 mana 2/2, is really not that great. So again, like a 2-mana 2/2 is like a 1-star card. So it gets enough of boost to be a 2-star card, to be like maybe even above average 2-star card. But I just don't think it's gonna. I don't think it will be that good. Shilog of the Abyss. So I went over this before. It's a Colossal Minion. You have the 4/1/2 stocks that deal 1 damage to a random enemy. So 7 mana, summon 4/1/2s. They deal 4 damage to a random enemy. If you can't kill any of the stuff, then they get buffs. So deal 4 split damage among everything. That's really not that great. So the total stats, it's above average on total stats, and it does require removal, but it's kind of like the level that you have for like a 4-star card or like a 5-star card. It doesn't reach that 5-star. It's kind of like a mid to low 4-star card, even though that's a lot of stats, mainly because it's not really that like if you don't have board, or even if you do have board, it's pretty easy to remove. And then finally, Lady Stheno. Immune while attacking. After you cast a spell, attack the lowest health enemy. So basically, it's a Flame Waker that has a buff, and if you have spells, it'll damage something. So maybe if you can buff its stats, that's fine. Maybe, but ultimately, I just don't see it really working. It's a 3-star card. It's a good card, but we know what this card can do, and so I don't think it's going to work that well. So, as I said, you have Glaive Shark, which is really good, and then everything else is really not that great. So we go to Druid. We go over to cards. All right, Miracle Growth. Draw 3 cards, summon a plant with taunt and stats equal to your hand size. Horrible card, right? It doesn't even deal 3 damage and give you 3 armor, so it's just like a garbage card. Alright, so anyway, okay, being serious here. They printed Ancient of Lore, and then they put this card into the game. In the same time, they're putting Ancient of Lore in Core. And this is a common card. Like, why is Ancient of Lore in Core when this is here? Alright, anyways, so you draw 3 cards. So, let's say absolute worst case scenario, this is the only card in your hand. Then you draw 3 cards and you summon a 3/3 taunt. And that would be good for 7 mana. Let's say you have 5 cards in your hand. You play this, you draw 3 cards, and you summon a 7/7 taunt. That would be insane, right? You can play this like on curve and probably get a fairly statted minion on curve, plus get massive hand advantage. So why is this not 6 stars? Mainly because it doesn't actually do anything to the board. So just like card advantage is a thing, but it's not like it's not as big of a thing as it once was. And because it doesn't have like any immediate impact on the board, I can't put it at 6 stars. So it's like it's 5 stars, it's high 5, but I can't say that it's a reliable 6. Flipper Friends. Choose one. Summon a 6/6 Orca with Taunt, or summon 6/1/1 Otters with Rush. We get Romp of Otters. Order the Orca. I was hoping that they would have in here the Fandral like combined card. That's what I was looking for. Alright, so anyway, the thing with this. Again, this is one of those cards just like you have Druid of the Claw, and this is just a better Druid of the Claw. Why is Druid of the Claw in Core if you have this? 6/6 Taunt on 5. That's really good. 6/1/1s with Rush to clear stuff. That's really good. Is it as good as Scales of Onyxia? Not really. But otherwise, it's just a really, really, really good card. 4-star card. I don't think much needs to be said. Alright, Asharan Gardens. I talked about this one before. By itself, it's Smuggler's Run in a class that likes to have spells. So that's mediocre. The Sunken Gardens. Like, if you can fish for this, this can potentially win the game. It's like baby survival of the fittest, and that will, like, over time, help you win the game. So, overall, 3-star card. Maybe you can get the combo off, and it's not really that hard to get off. Because of Aquatic Form. Aquatic Form, Dredge. If you have the mana to play the card this turn, draw it. So, this is basically 0 mana draw, discover a card, right? Except you can't play this early on. And that actually does kind of matter. If you compare this to a Nature Studies, for example, you'd pay 1 mana to discover a card that you discounted by 1 mana. So you effectively paid 0 mana to discover a card overall, and you could split it up. So is this better than a Nature Studies? And I don't think it is, and that's why it's only 4 stars. We know what Nature Studies could have done, and we know this is basically around that level. Now, the Dredge effect, if you've got Sharn Gardens, if you've got other things that put strong stuff on the bottom of your deck, being able to summon that, that's fine. But it's basically Nature Studies you can't play until turn 6, turn 7 to reliably draw that card. I do think this is somehow going to get nerfed in Constructed. It might end up being a 1 mana card in Constructed. Alright, going on from here. We've got a Green Thumb Gardener, which I've seen other people not be as hyped on this. So, 6 mana, refresh the empty mana crystals equal to the cost of the most expensive spell in your hand. I think people are focusing too much on getting this out as a 0 mana card, and not focusing enough on the fact that Druids have a lot of spell variety. Alright, okay, this is from the sets. Let's go to the Colossal over here. We go to Druid, and we go to spells. So there are 3 mana, there's like good 2 mana spells. There's good 3 mana spells that Druid is going to have. And getting like a 3 mana 5/5 that refreshes itself is fine. Like Kodo Mount is a good 4 mana spell. That's going to be in. Flipper of Friends, like you can get it as 1 mana. You can get it as 0 mana. Like you've got a lot of cards here where you can get this out for cheap. So I think like there are situations where you just don't have the cards. You have to play 6 mana 5/5. But I think ultimately this is a 3-star card. I think this is a perfect. This is like a Nerubian Prophet. It's a good card. It's a card you'll be happy to have. Dozing Kelp Keeper. 1 mana 4/4 rush. Starts dormant after you've cast 5 mana worth of spells. Awaken. This is the Mage quest line. Let me see. I have it written down here. There was the Mage quest line where if you cast 8 mana worth of spells, you summoned a 6/6 dragon. And it did not have rush. So that's kind of like the comparison. Yeah, okay, I forget the Mage side quest there. So a 1 mana, you get a 4/4 rush instead of a 6 dragon, and you need to cast 5 mana worth of spells, which is kind of like very similar to 8. So again, it's not going to work. I don't think it's worth the card draw. I think it's a 1-star card. Bottom Feeder. 1 mana 1/3 Death Rattle. Add a Bottom Feeder to the bottom of your deck with permanent +2/+2. So the Bottom Feeder is a 1 mana 3/5. By the time you can dredge it out, a 1 mana 3/5 is really not worth it. It's not like that game changing, and you aren't going to be able. The games aren't going to be in fatigue. So ultimately, treating it as a 1 mana 1/3, that's 1 star. Seaweed Strike. Deal 4 damage to a minion. If you've played a Naga while holding this, also give your hero 4 attack this turn. You're not really going to play a Naga, so it's 3 mana deal 4 to a minion. That's fine. That's a 3-star ability. Like, again, like you've got the Kelp Keeper, but you're not going to pick that. You've got the, whatchamacallit, where is it? Where is it? The Gardener, that's a Naga. You might play that, but like there is a combo here, but I just don't see that going off. Oops. All right, next one here, Kolic. 7 mana 6/5 immune while you control Kolic Shell. So the problem with this is that it doesn't have any immediate impact. So that's the biggest thing. And 2, the shell can be like easily removed enough. So you do have to remove the shell first to remove the Kolic, so you can't hard remove it. But I just think it's a little bit too much. And like you compare it to like the diver, the Gangplank Diver. That's the 6/4 that's immune while attacking. And you can just play that and play a taunt, and you can get basically the same thing as the Druid Colossal Minion. So, good card, yes, it's a 4-star card, but again, compared to the other Colossal Minions, it just doesn't do enough. Finally, last one here, Hedra the Heretic. For each spell you've cast while holding this, summon a minion equal to that stat's cost. So that spell's cost. So if you have a lot of spells, this can work. You only really need to hit like a 3 or 4 mana spell while holding this. So it is a possibility, but I don't think it's going to be reliable enough. Maybe in the right deck it's good, and that's why I have 7 mana 4/5 as a 2-star card, because there is potential for this, but you need to have it, you need to hold it, you need to cast other spells, and I don't think it's going to work in Arena, but there is potential. All right, last one for now will be Hunter. Go here to Hunter. All right, first card, Barbed Nets. Arcane Shot that can become a cleave if you played a Naga. I don't think you're going to have a Naga, so it's basically Arcane Shot, 2 stars. As Sharon Saber. I complained about this a lot in the introductory video. This is like, I guarantee what happened is some broken thing happened while testing, and they basically got so scared that they did this to try to avoid that broken thing from happening. And in the process, they created a card that's just like one of the worst cards they've ever created from a design point of view. Because you get for a card, like we've seen, the put a X card on your deck. Those are fairly static cards. This would have been a bad card like 3 years ago in Hearthstone. And now the power level's up here, and this is even a worse card. So you have to play a 4 mana 3/3 rush, which is bad. To get a second 4 mana 3/3 rush that summons a beast from your deck, and because it's Arena, that beast is probably going to suck. So I'm pretty sure the idea was that you did this, was that you played the Asharan Saber, then you dredged the Asharan Shape, then you dredged the as Shar. Like, I'm pretty sure what happened is you play this, you play Harpoon Gun dredges the other one, and then that one either gets you a Hydralodon that comes out, or gets you your other as Sharon Saber, which you could trade in. So like that's I think what was supposed to happen. And now they just slowed it down and they made it a lot more painful to be able to do it. So you play like a deck with Harpoon Gun, the Sabers, and Hydralodon by itself, and you could like fish that out, or King Crush or something like that. All right. Point being, it's a bad card. It's a bad card in Arena. It's a bad card in Constructed. It's a bad card everywhere. Just do not pick this card. 1 star. I am borderline 0 stars on this card because I hate it so much, but it actually does do something, so it's enough for 1 star. Conscious Call. Draw a Naga in a spell. I don't think you're going to have Nagas, so it's 3 mana, draw 1. That's bad. 1 star. If you've got Nagas, okay, then it's an Arcane Intellect, a moderate one. Twin Bow Terracoil. Battlecry. If you cast a spell holding this, your next spell casts twice. A little bit too much of a setup here for me to say like it's good. Because 1, you need to cast a spell. Then after you play this, you need to have another spell you want to cast twice. And the cast twice, I'm pretty sure, is random. So if it's something like, what is it? Barbed Nets, then it would be like a random thing. If it's a secret, then the secret can't cast twice. So there's a lot of limitations on this. I do think it's 3 stars. I do think there's potential, but I don't think it's really that great. Harpoon Gun. 3 mana 3/2 after hero attacks, dredge. If it's a beast, reduce its cost by 2. So a War Axe, where you get to dredge twice, and you get mana reduction. Like, all of that is really good. That's 4 stars. I would see an argument to raise it to 5 stars, depending on your deck. But I do think, like, you're not going to be, the beast is not reliable enough, and you may not want to have the beast, even if it costs 2 less. Emergency Maneuvers. When a friendly minion dies, summon a copy of it. It's dormant for 1 turn. I don't know if the dormant means, like, once it dies on your enemy's turn, then the next turn it resurrects for you. So I don't know if you have to spend 1 turn with it dormant on your side for it to resurrect for you, or if it's thing like you play a taunt and you play this, your opponent kills the taunt, triggers this, then on your turn it summons itself again. In any case, like, you can do things like put taunts around it, so I think this is good. I think this is like pack tactics level, so that would put it about a 3-star card. Urchin Spines. Give your spells this turn are poisonous. So, like you really need you need the synergy with it, and then you need to draft the card with it. You're not going to really have the card draw. I just don't think it's going to work. 1 star. Raz Najtan. After you cast a spell, deal its damage cost to you and enemy hero. I mean, obviously, people look at this and they're salivating, but again, you need to cast spells, and so it's like bonus damage on a 2-drop. So it's ultimately it's a 3-star card because it does deal a lot of damage, but it doesn't really do that much by itself. Finally, Hydralodon. Colossal, give your heads rush. I went over this one before. The head is a 3/1, so when it dies, it summons 2 3/1s, and those 3/1s don't have rush. Only the first 2 3/1s have rush. But basically, 3 mana, deal 3 damage where you get to control the damage, and you summon 4 3/1s where if this does not die, then these will resummon. Like you can't even kill these off because they'll just like resummon and keep on summoning more. You have to kill the 5/5 first, then the 3/1s, or kill them all in like a giant AoE thing. So obviously 7-star card, insane card. If there's like any beast discovery cards, you take these to try to get this and just win the game on the spot. All right, and that is it for Demon Hunter, Druid, and Hunter. When we come back, well, first, right now, me personally, I'm going to go get something to eat, and I'm going to go shopping. And then after I'm done with that, I will be back with the next classes, which will be Mage, Paladin, Priest, and maybe Rogue. I'm not sure how I'll feel then. All right, I'll see you guys for the next one.